Hey guys, welcome back to GSL Makeup. Today we're doing another hair tutorial in aid of Cars for Kids, which is happening this Good Friday. And we're going to be using these hot rollers by Babyliss. These are the ones that I love to use because they're covered in sort of a velvety material and they're really, really good. Going in with that mousse that I always like to use, the Hydra curl mousse. And I'm just going to brush that through. I'm taking my fringe section, it doesn't have to be super neat and tidy, and I'm just going to brush through the mousse. I'm going to add a little bit of hairspray, and I'm going to add a large heated roller, and it's going to go forward because this is the fringe section, so you really want that to go forward. I'm going to add heated rollers to the rest of my hair, and they're all going to be going downwards. Really important to put the large heated rollers on the crown of the head. We're doing a Bouffant do, so you really want a lot of volume on the crown, so use the biggest rollers on the top. I'm gonna let them sit just for 10 minutes or so, so I'm just having a cup of tea and making a phone call. After that, I'm going to take out all of the rollers. They don't have to be super cool or anything. We're not going for an actual curl, we're just wanting to add a little bit of shine and volume. So I'm taking out every single roller and I'm just putting in a pin curl clip, and they'll cool the rest of the way on their own. And this is pretty much what it should look like when you've got all your pin curls in. They should be fairly large. So after a couple of minutes, I'm going to take out all of those pin curls and I'm going to brush them through. I'm leaving 3 pin curls at the top because that's where I want the majority of my volume. And I decided here that I actually wanted my fringe to be a little bit wider than I had made it before. So I'm just taking a couple of pieces from each side and adding it to that fringe area. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm taking 2 small sections just from the sides. They don't have to be super neat. And I'm just going to put those into little pin curls at the sides of my face. The reason that I do this is because whenever I do a French roll or a Bouffant on myself, I find it very difficult to make the sides really neat and tidy. So I tend to do the Bouffant first and then I'll pull those bits back later on. I'm taking out those crown pin curls and I'm going to be adding some of this Plump It Up dry shampoo. Taking pretty thin sections from left to right, we're basically going to be backcombing the crap out of our hair. We want this to be really high. I could use padding, but this is just the way that you do it, purely just by using your own hair, no extensions, it's just backcombing. So I'm adding some dry shampoo, then a little bit of hairspray, and then using a fine-toothed comb, just backcombing right up to the end of the hair, almost up to the end of the hair. Then I'm just going to really quickly put a really hot hair dryer on it, followed by a really cool blast, because that'll really set it in place so that you've got really high hair. and I'm going to do that in sections all the way down to the back of my hair. So just keep on backcombing, backcombing, backcombing each thin section, adding your dry shampoo and adding a little bit of a blast of hot and cold air from your hairdryer. And yeah, it's a little bit weird. I do find this difficult. Just backcomb as much as you possibly can here. By the way, getting all of this out was difficult, so what I ended up doing was I didn't really brush it out. I just put in a bunch of hair conditioner and pretty much just washed it all out in the shower. I use a really good quality hair conditioner, like one with macadamia nut oil or something like that, and hopefully you shouldn't have too much of a problem getting it out of your hair. So here I'm adding this Give Me Texture spray. It's kind of like a sea salt spray. And I'm just taking that bottom section there, that's the bit I'm going to make into a little French roll. This section at the front, I'm just going to get that out of the way so I can concentrate. And I'm just folding that to the side in a little French roll. It does not have to be neat and tidy because this is going to be covered up by your hair scarf. Because this has got so much product in it, you're not going to need a lot of bobby pins. I think I only used 2 or 3 or something. Also, my hair is chemically treated, so it makes it a little bit more brittle. If you've got virgin hair, you'll probably need a lot more bobby pins, but if you use a lot of product, probably not so much. So that messy bit right at the top, that's kind of important. I'm going to take that and sort of pull it out a little bit more because that'll help to volumize your Bouffant. And flick your hair back. You should have a nice bit of volume there. This is my Mason & Pearson brush, and this is my cheaper version of it by High Lift. I can't remember exactly how much it cost. I think I got it at Price Tack or Hair House Warehouse, something like that, and it costs something like $15–20. It's a similar type of brush to the Mason & Pearson. It means that you can brush out your hair, make it smooth on the top, but it doesn't brush out your back combing. So I'm going to try to smooth out that as much as I possibly can. Now here you just pretty much have to mess with it quite a bit and try to get it as smooth as you possibly can. I find this quite difficult, obviously, because it's all going on at the back of your head. But once you get it pretty smooth, I just sort of like fold it over a little bit and add a bobby pin. To hold that in place. And because it's got so much product in it, it really doesn't need that many bobby pins. This little bit here, instead I could just tuck it in, but I usually just make a little pin curl. Taking those side sections, this is the part I was talking about before where I find it really difficult to smooth out the sides. So I'm just going to take those, make sure that they're nice and smooth, and make little pin curls at the side just to secure them. You could really just smooth them back and cross them over at the back if you want to. That probably would have been the easier thing to do, but this is just how I decided to secure them. Okay, moving on to the fringe. Just brushing that out. We want a lot of volume in our fringe, so I'm taking sections from the back and moving to the front, adding a little bit of dry shampoo, a little bit of hairspray, and I'm going to back comb that. Surprise, surprise. Like my last video, this is big hair don't care. I think that's pretty much my hashtag. That's the hashtag of 2016. And there's my annoying fringe that I'm trying to grow out. So once you've got all that back combing, it's pretty 80s, so you want to smooth it down with a Mason and Pearson brush or some sort of boar bristle. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm just taking a tiny little bit at the side because I want to add a little pin curl later. So take your boar bristle brush and just smooth out the outside. Don't brush through the back combing that you've done because that's going to give you your volume. So drape that over your hand, smooth it down, and then create sort of a sidewards. I have always called this a side roll or a fringe roll, something like that. I don't really know what it's called, but it's just something I always do. And that should have a lot of strength to it because it's got a lot of back combing, it's got a lot of product in it. So you'll only need one or two, or probably 2 or 3 bobby pins, I think. And just shape that the way that you want it to look. With this one, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with our victory rolls in the last video, and I'm going to close it off at the side. So just bring it down at the side, close it off, and secure it with either a U-clip or a bobby pin. So I'm taking that little section that I sectioned off before, and I'm just making a little cute little pin curl here just for interest. Here I'm taking my tail comb and I'm just trying to heighten the back part a little bit more. So I'm just taking a little net scarf. You fold it in half so that it's a triangle, and then you fold the point back. Drape it over the back of your hair and just create a little bow at the top. You can get these scarves off eBay. Sometimes you can get them at vintage markets as well. I find that they're pretty useful to have in all different colours. I've got lots of different colours of them. So if you see them at a market, just snap them up because they're super handy. You can also use them if you're doing a wet set to cover your curls as well. And I'm just messing with the bow just to make sure it's nice and perfect. You can have this on the side if you want to. Generally, I always wear it in the middle, but it's completely up to you. I'm also adding a bobby pin to each side. I usually have them pointing upwards so that you can't see them quite as much. I'm one of those people where I can't really wear a scarf without it moving everywhere, so I usually do add a couple of bobby pins. And that's our finished look. That's our great big bouffant. You can make it as big as you want to. I could probably have gone a little bit bigger, but this is probably enough for polite society, I think. So I'll see you guys again soon for another tutorial, and don't forget to get down this Good Friday to Cars for Kids in Keilor at the Old Keilor Hotel. Okay, bye.